Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, and this continues to be the space for conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are looking to remove the blocks that hold them back from their purpose so you can manifest abundance through it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Monday Magic Intuitive Energy reading, my favorite day of the week. I absolutely love bringing you my experience and how I am reading the current energies, and of course, a little bit of channeled guidance on how to navigate moving forward. This, of course, is not a prediction. I rather just am here to remind you that you are not alone. And sometimes it helps to hear that what you're experiencing, someone else is also experiencing. So I love the times when we get to bring good messages, right? Sometimes the energy is heavy and dense, and it's not as fun to deliver that message as it is when things are feeling pretty good, as they are today. So we'll kind of recap as far as last week. We had, prior to that, a couple of really intense weeks. It felt like things have softened a bit this week, which is pretty crazy to say considering all that we've experienced. But relative to the weeks prior, there was a bit of a slowdown of the intensity. It was very much needed. Those prior weeks felt very overwhelming. There was a lot going on. There was a lot to keep up with. And this week has felt a bit more manageable, like it's less pressure from a activity or things to do perspective. But certainly there is no shortage of big energies this past week as well. It just was a little bit softer, just a little bit easier, not quite as intense. Then, of course, and that break kind of started, Sunday, Monday, right around the time of the last message. And then by Wednesday, we were in more amplified solar energy. We had a couple of, I believe, M-class players come in. I'll be honest, I did not check to see what our classes were. I know we reached a KP5 on the KP index, the solar weather. Oh my goodness, the term is escaping me. I think it's the NOAA website. I'll have to link that below. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the intensity was interesting for us in the US. It came in right around bedtime, which made going to sleep pretty difficult, and was sustained throughout the night. And it was interesting, a very active, I'm getting some ear ringing here. It was a very active night, and a lot of, it felt like we were doing a lot in our dreams, right? We were out there doing the work. And sometimes you can wake up feeling like you didn't get any rest. And certainly that was one of those days. And then that came in right around Wednesday. We had the new moon Sunday, which was yesterday. So typically you feel the effects of a new moon or a full moon 3 days prior and 3 days after. What's interesting is new moons tend to be a bit softer than full moons, but with this Gemini new moon, it felt as if it was a full moon. Certainly people were acting as if it was a full moon. Now you could say that maybe it was the amplified solar energy effect, or it could just be, Mercury and Gemini and their mental activity. And so it really, it was interesting because we had that peak in energy right around Wednesday. Solar weather came in, and then there was a little bit of a lull before we saw the pick back up again. So certainly the solar weather had some sort of impact. What's really fun and interesting about this is I personally enjoyed this new moon energy. Even though it was more active than a new moon typically is, it has felt fun. There have been blissful waves of peaceful, joyful energy, lots of hope, just this feeling of like everything is going to be fine. Everything's going perfectly as planned. We're all right where we should be as usual. And so let's see, it was Saturday that felt like a lot like that as far as blissful energy. Sunday, yesterday, was also very enjoyable energetically. I'm still feeling a bit of it today. So hopefully you're getting a taste of this yummy, delicious energy, as I like to say. And hopefully this will be sustained for a longer period of time. Oftentimes in the past, it's only a day or two. And so to be on the third day is a lot of fun. Now, I will say, I don't believe that we are victims to the energy. We, of course, are here to transmute. So while transmutation is always available to us. Sometimes it's more easy than others. And so that's kind of where we're at. It's a little bit easier right now. You don't have to work so hard at maintaining that high vibe. Then, as if that weren't enough, we add to it, we had some Schumann resonance mania yesterday. I believe according to, and I have not studied this, so take it for what you will. Don't quote me on it, but it was sustained for more than 24 hours. There's some debate around whether or not the activity was man-made versus what some people are calling ascension codes, or, the Schumann resonance looked like a DNA strand all throughout all of the different frequencies. And so that was really interesting. What I have felt into for myself is there's some apprehension around getting excited that this is, the ascension energy. I do feel that there could be some truth in the man-made theory. And at the same time, there's a sense of there are no accidents. That even if it was man-made, there's still activity. They're still doing something, whether it was just to the device or to the earth itself or to us, the collective. Remains to be seen. Hindsight is always 2020. So in these types of situations, I like to just put a little space between myself, the situation, and the explanation I attach myself to. So we don't know for sure. There's a lot of things that we don't know for sure in this day and age, and tapping into our own intuitive discerning abilities is really important here. So I think it's important to reiterate, there are no accidents. Something is happening. And I do have a very strong confident sense in that, whether or not the Schumann resonance and its measures or its gauges were disrupted through man-made or other influences remains to be seen. And I don't really think it matters. I think that something is happening and we just need to trust that. There are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. And we can leave it there. We don't have to understand. We need to remember that the mind is what gets in the way. The mind tends to be what creates separation. It is the veil. It is the illusion. So to really just drop into your body and allow your body to receive and process whatever is available to it, whether it's from solar weather or a new moon or the Schumann resonance, or we also have the solstice coming up. So it doesn't really matter. There is no shortage of beautiful, amazing, delicious energy to process. So just get out of the mind, get into the body. The mind blocks. When they say get out of your own way, it is the mind that gets in the way. So really be in your body. Just notice the area of your body that calls your attention most and be with it. Love on your body and just be present in your body. We'll add to that, like I said, the solstice coming up on the 20th, 21st. And so that's just another layer of more hope, more renewal, more light, right? The Cancer season is sort of the melding of the body and the mind and the spirit coming home to the home of the crab and the Cancer, or the Cancer and the crab shell. And of course, solstice also represents having the most light. It is the longest day of the year. And so it brings us renewed hope and nourishment and allows us to spread our light. And that's what this channel is all about. That's what the Vibe Mentor business is all about, is helping you heal your blocks or your traumas, however you want to call it, so that you can step into your purpose, which means shining your light. So the solstice is just bringing us more support into stepping into being the beautiful beacon of light that we are made to be. And that's what your purpose is all about. So big things are definitely happening. There is, I think, I'm not sure there's anyone that could debate that, but we'll leave it there. I'm not interested in arguments, but it seems pretty clear that big things are happening. No matter how you look at it, whether it's from the financial perspective or the military perspective or anything, it's very clear that things are happening, things are moving, and we don't really know for sure what that is, and that's okay. That is the name of the game called life. Uncertainty. Step into it, embrace it, get used to it, find a new perspective, something that looks more like curiosity instead of fear. Because there is this strong sense of anticipation that has been with us for many months now, and it's not going away. And I would say this week, I feel that whatever we've been anticipating is sort of peeking through. Like I have this visual of like a film or a screen or a mesh, and it's kind of like whatever we're anticipating is kind of being pushed through the mesh. Right. And so just know that it's happening. We don't need to know what's happening. We don't need to be in control because the divine's got that under control. Our job is just to stay focused on the divine. Right. Another interesting piece of guidance that came through is that all systems are ready and waiting. It's almost the sense of like locked and loaded. And there is also this sense that it's a chicken or egg kind of feeling. Are the 3D activities prompting the energetic shifts and changes, or are the energetic shifts and changes prompting the 3D activities? And I think it's both, right? One feeds the other. We are the projectors of this reality. So our perception that things are happening, our assumption that things are happening, our wanting for things to be happening is creating what's happening. And yet at the same time, what's happening is relying on us. And I kind of get this strong sense that it's interesting because I didn't really want to say this because I'm not certain of it, but this is just what I'm intuitively sensing, is that there are people who are waiting for the energetic shifts to make their move. And nobody knows when these energetic shifts are going to happen, whether it's a solar flare or whether it's the flash or whether it's the pole flips or whatever else, military movement, it doesn't matter. Somebody's waiting for something to happen before they flip the switch. It's as if this natural phenomenon needs to happen to facilitate the physical shifts. And so sensing that timing is pretty difficult when you don't have, when you're not God, we'll put it that way. Right. So just know all systems are ready and waiting. We are locked and loaded. Now it's just a waiting game, and we continue to enjoy the process, right? The song "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream" comes to mind. Just get in the boat and flow with it, and don't resist, and don't worry, and don't stress. And this was another fun one that came through. We are writing a symphony through the chaos. That this feeling of bliss and joy and peace and hope and renewal that is available to us is enough. It tells us we are right on track. We are exactly where we need to be. Things are happening. We don't need to be in control. We don't need to understand it. We just need to trust that there is a symphony being created through the chaos. And a symphony is music to our ears. It sounds and feels beautiful. And if you're not feeling that, you can find it. It is available to you. It is here. It is present. And it's just a matter of alignment to finding that, knowing that you can get there eventually. You just have to know how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And that's the alchemy. That's working up the vibrational ladder. That's starting to at least find neutral, right? If you're in a lower state, find neutral. Don't try to go 0 to 60. Just baby step your way up that vibrational ladder, right? Of course, continued guidance says stay focused on the light. Stay in clarity that all is well. Stay in certainty that all is well. Refuse to believe that there is anything that is a problem. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. And if there is a perceived problem, you do not need to give it your focus and attention because you help it grow by doing that. So we really want to stay focused on what we want to create. Stay focused on your purpose. If you are a hidden seeker who can't seem to get yourself to do the things you know you need to do to start your business, you have that deep yearning for something more, but you feel stuck in hermit mode, then your purpose is healing. You have to take advantage of one of my free healing sessions. It's incredible the amount of hidden seekers or hidden light workers that are out there. So many of us want to make the world a better place, want to shine our light, want to step into our purpose, and yet conditioning, programming, and trauma hold you back. That's how I ended up doing what I do, because your purpose is my purpose. And then I have been so fortunate and humbled and blessed that the divine taught me how to heal that for you, or teach you how to heal it for yourself. So take advantage of the free healing session if you'd like to do that. Links below. Otherwise, another piece of guidance that came through was the new earth is splitting, right? We are splitting off. I love the visual, the image of sort of the old crusted, dry, dead earth pulling away from the vibrant new earth. And I feel that that's what's happening. And that's why it's so important to look away from the problems, to stay focused on shining your light, to stay focused on your purpose, to keep your eyes on the divine, to hold the light is necessary so that you can be part of the new earth and not left behind on this old encrusted dead earth. And of course, we can transition at any time, but why stay there any longer than you have to, right? Let's move with this flow, right? Heaven on earth. It was interesting because it came through. Heaven on earth is coming and here, right? It's here now. Again, just similar to finding the joy and the bliss, that energy is available now. It's up to us to realign to it, to alchemize, to step up our vibrational ladder. It is available to us now. And then, of course, what do we do? Of course, all the things we are usually talking about, we ground, we cleanse, we detox. It's really, really important to clarify the body, extremely important to nourish the body, lots of water, minerals, Celtic salt, Himalayan pink salt, liquid minerals if you can. Elements is another fun one to make your water taste good. Then you can get your water and your minerals. And then, of course, food that contains light. Yes. And then the final piece was reiterated: hold the light, hold the line, I've heard said, but also hold the light. You hold the line by holding the light, right? Stay focused on the divine. Be like that horse with the blinders that walks through the street. And it seems so counterintuitive. People think that you have to give your focus and attention to the problems to solve the problems, but that is just not how this system works. And people will keep hitting their heads against that brick wall until they figure it out. And at the end of the day, there's always going to be light. There's always going to be dark. There's always going to be good. There's always going to be bad. And it's not our job to fix what we deem as wrong or bad. It is our job to step into our purpose, to shine the light, to be the light, to be of service, to love on each other, and to create heaven on earth in our own space. Because as we raise our vibration, the tide rises all boats, and you are helping to create heaven on earth. Every single one of you has a purpose. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It is statistically impossible for you to be here exactly as you are, with your unique fingerprint, your unique set of gifts, your unique set of talents. You were made perfectly imperfect for your purpose. There is something you are meant to do. But if you are in that phase of, I don't know, I can't find it, I'm stuck, you're not going to be able to find it from that place. You have to get unstuck by healing yourself. Heal the trauma, heal the conditioning, heal the programming through somatic healing work. That's why I do something called trauma spotting through source tapping. You have to use the body to get it up and out of the body so that the nervous system will allow the brain to support you instead of doing what it thinks it's doing through defending and keeping you safe, which means stuck and staying the same. So that feels complete. I love you, my friends, so very much. Big, beautiful things are coming. And it's interesting. The analogy of cleaning out a closet comes to mind often and is asking to be shared here. So we're going to do that. If you imagine your messy closet at home, think about what has to happen to clean that closet. You have to pull all the stuff out of the closet, and you have to lay it out on the floor, spread it out, and organize it in piles. It looks more messy than it did when it was all stuffed into the closet. That's the phase we're in now. We're pulling the stuff out of the closet, and it looks really messy. But the divine is always in charge. The divine always has a plan. Everything is taken care of. It's not up to us to figure out how to organize the piles or how to put it back in the closet. You have a purpose. Focus on your purpose. Your purpose might be farming. It might be childcare. It might be education. It might be architecture. It might be music. Whatever your gift is, whatever your passion is, I'm careful about saying that, but whatever your natural talents and abilities point towards is going to be your purpose. But again, trauma healing tends to be necessary for those of us, because those who have the biggest mission also experience the greatest adversity, which means we have to learn how to heal the body to get the mind and the brain to work for us. So clearly I could go on and on all day. I feel very passionately about this. I'm going to wrap it up. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, and share if there's anybody that you think could benefit from this. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Take care. Namaste.